Hi, this is Julie with Beadaholique, and I want to show you how to make the wide spiked bracelet, which is an exclusive kit from Beadaholique.com. This is a very trendy design, and we wanted to make it in kit form so that you would be able to just purchase exactly everything you need. So your kit comes with everything you see here. You have enough of these little triple spiked connectors to make a 9-inch wide bracelet. Of course, if you have a smaller wrist, you just leave a couple off. You're going to get a spool of Opalon. You're going to have leftover of this for other projects. And then you're going to get a tube of E6000 glue. So before we begin, I want to show you how wide these are. So you'll see they're just about 1/2 inch. So that will give you a good clue when you start making your bracelet. If you want a 7-inch bracelet, which is what this is, I used 14 of these. And then, like I mentioned, will give you enough to make about a 9-inch bracelet. So just adjust accordingly when you start stringing these together. For the tools that you're going to need a ruler, a pair of just regular scissors, something to apply the glue with. I have a toothpick, but a scrap piece of wire, and then something to put the glue on. This is a great, simple kit to put together. It goes together really fast, and you end up with a really fun design. So we're going to begin by measuring out our Opalon, and this is stretchy, as you can see here. And we're going to measure 18 inches. Not stretched out inches, but just when it's laying flat and relaxed. Okay. So we're done with the measuring. We can put our ruler away. And then if you look at each of these spike bars, of course it has a triple spike, and then there's a hole going through each of the end spikes of your bar. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to start by taking one length of our Opalon and putting it through one of the holes. It helps if you have a beading mat and can just lay this flat. I'm going to scoot 14 of these bars onto the Opalon, and that'll give me that 7-inch bracelet. Got 14 scooted on. So these are extras. Again, if you want to make a wider bracelet, you'll have them available to do so. And before I go any further, I'm just going to take my other strand of Opalon and I'm just going to run it through the top hole of each of my spike bars. One thing I'm watching as I'm doing this is my tails. I don't have anything stopping them, so occasionally you might just want to pull them so that they're not so close to the end spike bar. Just you don't want to pull out after you've gone to this effort. If they do pull out, easy enough, you just restring that last bar. Now that they're all strung, go ahead and pull the Opalon so that you have about equal amount on each side. Then grab them. Scoot them all together, flip them over, and we're going to tie one side first. To do that, we're just going to pull the two ends together. Make sure that you're doing it with the same piece of Opalon. You wouldn't want to connect this strand to that strand. You want it to be on the same level. Pull them together, and we're not going to try to stretch it at this point. We just want to tie a simple overhand knot. Like you want it to be, you don't want any gaps between your spike bars, but you also really don't want it to be pulled stretch. There we go. Now we're going to do that to the other side while we're at it. Just going to make a simple knot. Like so. And we're going to take our glue. This is a new bottle of E6000, so it's going to be sealed. There's a little point on the inside top of the cap, and you're just going to push that down, and that's going to puncture the seal so your glue will come out. Squeeze a little bit of glue onto a Post-it note pad or a scrap piece of paper. You're not going to be using a lot, but it does dry quickly, so you don't want to put too much down. And take a little bit of that glue, put it over your knot, And because Beadalon is stretchy, you do just want to reinforce that knot with a little bit of glue. And now we're just going to tie another knot so it sits down into that glue. We're going to do that on the other side as well. We're going to see where that knot is. With this particular bracelet design, the holes in the spike bars are actually pretty big, so your knots have a tendency to slip into those holes, which is totally fine. It actually is kind of nice, it disguises them. But to begin with, you want to make sure you can put that glue, that little dab of glue, onto the knot and then tie another knot. Okay, so I'm actually going to let this dry for a few minutes, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to tie a few more reinforcing knots. So it's been about 10 minutes, and now I'm just going to do a couple reinforcing knots. To do that, I'm going to take one end of my Beadalon and I'm going to thread it back through an adjacent spike bar, and then I'm going to come up under the Beadalon. It's like an Beadalon thread bridge. Then just pull my Beadalon tail through it to create another little knot. Again, I'm just going to put a little dab of glue, and actually at this point I need to put some more fresh glue down. It's important that with E6000 that your glue is fresh. It does dry kind of quick. You don't want it to be too lumpy. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue over that knot. I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm just going to go under my Beadalon bridge, creating a little bit of a loop, put the tail through the loop, and pull. I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to go back and do that with each of my tails just to make a reinforcing knot on each. So I'll do that, I'll let them dry, and then I'll show you how to trim your tails. All right. When all your glue is dry and you're ready to trim your tails, go ahead and pull your Beadalon thread, and you want to snip your tail pretty close to that knot. And if you've applied glue, it will be reinforced. So you'll just snip it like so. And you'll do that on all four sides. Just going to get in here, snip it, and snip it. So just like that, you've created your bracelet. And this one's still a little bit wet with my glue, so I don't want to handle it too much. But this one is finished. And you'll see you have a very on-trend design. And this is called the Wide Spiked Bracelet, aptly named, it is what it is. And you can find it at Beadaholique.com under our exclusive kits. I hope you enjoyed.